Well, everyone, it's time for us to go and take a look at the iPod Touch 7th generation and see how this particular iPod holds up in 2025. Now, there's a couple of big things to keep in mind here. Number one, I definitely do think getting an iPod in this day and age doesn't make any sense at all. I think it makes sense buying like an iPod, an iPhone 6 than buying an iPod Touch 7th generation. So it just really does not make much sense to go and buy something like this. But there might be some other better options out there for you too, and we'll talk about that throughout this whole entire video. First things first though, if you want to pick up an iPhone or an Android phone or a Samsung, whatever you want, links will be down in the description. You can get them from there and you can help support the channel at the exact same time. Now, starting off with the outside of this particular iPod, the biggest thing you're going to have to remember is that this thing came out basically around like 2019-ish. I think it was like 2018, 2019. And this was basically Apple's last iPod they made. This was their last, thing they were just going to throw out there. And the reason why they made this, I think they just had a lot of like internal components from like previous iPhones. And they were just like, let's just throw in these like iPhone 7 chipsets inside of this iPod Touch and call it a day. And that's kind of what they ended up doing here. So this is not a super powerful iPod. This is a very basic layout. You're getting the same 4-inch display, top and bottom bezel. It looks like a normal iPod that you'd get like an iPod Touch, but this is very, very basic. On the front side, you are getting that home button as well. So that in and of itself is another thing that showcases this age. Like this is a fairly outdated type of experience when it does kind of come down from that side as well. So that right there, I think is another one of those key areas to kind of think about there too. On top of that, with this type of iPod, you're also going to be going through and basically still maintaining that lightning port at the bottom, which is probably still going to be fine for a lot of people. Not too many issues there. Aluminum back. This thing still actually feels pretty premium, which is actually pretty surprising. And you are getting that single camera setup on the back left, top left. I will say one thing I do like about having a device like this is that it does give you that type of camera, like that's flush on the back. I do miss having cameras that don't protrude like crazy, so I will give this iPod some credit in that department. Beyond that though, there's not really too much else to say. Like this was an iPod, it was supposed to be like a music player, and that's kind of it. It's supposed to be a music player, which doubles as having basically like, iPod apps and iPhone apps that you can install on it. But you have to remember that if you are getting something like this iPod, not only is it already outdated with software, but it's already outdated with applications you can install with it too. A lot of applications that you probably want installed inside of this device are already going to be outdated. They're already going to be in a situation where they're going to be stuck kind of giving us like a, older version of that particular device or that particular, layout. And that in of itself, like I said before, can be kind of an annoying thing. So if you are going to go through and basically, experience that, that is going to be without a doubt one of the more annoying things that you might experience in this particular situation. Again, it's not the biggest deal in the world, but that is going to be another one of those things to experience from that particular side too. Now, beyond that, you're still going to be getting like a pretty good experience with this type of iPod when it comes down to fluidity. Like it still feels like a pretty decent experience. Like it doesn't really feel like the worst device ever. And I think that's actually pretty surprising, but you're just going to be getting an iPod. Like if you needed a side device for like extreme stuff, then I would say, okay, you might be okay with this. But if you're really trying to go through and like get a better experience, well, this thing is going to be running into a wall. Like it's not really going to be that fast. It's going to be fairly slow. It's going to be giving you very, very slow experiences and a lot of other things too. So it really just doesn't make a lot of sense to go and buy it from that particular situation, but it also doesn't make any sense to buy it from a different situation, like when it comes down to actually using it. So in my opinion, I really don't think that this particular device is worth buying in any situation. It makes a lot more sense, in my personal opinion, to buy something like an iPhone that's still supported with software, an iPhone XS, right? Like that iPod came out so long ago, or that iPhone came out so long ago, and I would highly recommend buying something like that rather than buying something like this. So in my personal situation, that's kind of how I see this type of iPod, holding up in 2025. If you have any other thoughts or questions, let me know in the comment section below. Hit the like button, that would mean so much, but definitely hit that subscribe button. More importantly than everything else, I love every single one of you guys. Hopefully I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out till then.